Welcome.
Hi.
Hey. I'm not sure if did it go live? I'm not
It
sure.
says live.
Well, I mean, in the group.
I'm never quite sure.
I'm always worried about the private group.
Okay, wait. I had Facebook up. Let's check.
'Cause-
Sorry for the delay, everybody. We want to make sure our group is getting this because that's where our meal planners, a lot of our meal planners are. I don't see it.
Yeah, like I see it go. It's on the regular page, but I don't see it in the private group, man. Jeez, I don't know.
See it in the group.
Yeah.
SmartyPlants.org. Is that the private page? Yeah. Oh no, I think it's there.
Is it?
I think so. No.
Nothing like working through these technical difficulties live.
Right off the bat. Well, they're gonna have to watch the replay.
Well, I'm wondering if I can I share it? Let's see.
It doesn't seem like a lot of people are watching at this hour because I think more people watch live at 3, but we kind of have to do it for
someone's here. If you're watching the show, let me know if you're watching it from the private group. I'm just trying to see, because sometimes what stinks is when you're in the private group, sometimes you have to refresh the page to get that to pop up.
Yeah, why is that?
Sometimes it pops right up for me. So like right here, I wasn't on the business page, but it popped up in in my announcements from the business page because I'm never really on that page. But
sometimes when you post and you tell me you made the post in the private group, I can't see it. I have to keep refreshing.
Right, I know. Like, that's why it's.
Where is it? Why isn't it like popping up first?
So I wonder. Just give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna. I think I could share it. I think I could share the business page.
Oh yeah, I see it in the business on the business.
Yeah,
page.
right. Like it's there. It's it's fine. But it stinks. Like I don't know why.
We have to just go back to posting in our group because that's the most important place. I mean, if we can't figure it out.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just trying to do both. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, the whole idea is like it goes on these multiple platforms. Yeah, shoot. Well, I'll do it after because I don't think you could do it live. I mean, there's a couple people here. Again, if you're here, you're watching. You. Let me know if you got this. Did you get this? Are you watching via the private group, the SmartyPlants private group, or are you watching via something else?
Yeah, if anybody's in the private Facebook group, can you please just send a message? If we are, then we can move on here.
Type in the chat. Well, we can move on. I can post it after the fact. We don't need I mean, it stinks, but
well, it sure is feeling like spring or even summer in my office right now.
Well, it was like a week of summer, and now it's going to be like a week of spring. We had the, of course, it's like right when the weekend happens. It was like a beautiful weekend. Last weekend was awesome. It was in the 80s, high 80s, sunny all week, and now the tail end of this week, it's rainy and cold. Tomorrow's dropping down to like 63, rain all day. Yeah,
it's 80 something today here.
It's 78. Excuse me, it's warm, but not. It's gonna start raining in a little bit.
It looks like rain. Oh yeah, it's 78 here.
Really?
It is spring, so it's time for some rain.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this has been a great spring. So far we've had like some nice temperatures. Then it got hot. Now it's getting cool again. Like I don't know. This is everyone's always like. There's never a spring. It goes from like winter, and then there's like 3 days of spring, and then it's blazing hot, and it's summer. But
that is spring.
Yeah, I mean, I think this month's been great.
Well, Frank's been happy with the cold, like the cooler weather, because that keeps the blooms longer. So you know how like we have a whole side, which I love, not lavender, lilacs, the side of our house. Oh, there's somebody. Looks like I'm watching from the private group. Thanks. Okay. Thanks. We can't see who you are, but
you know what? Look at
this Facebook user to me. 97. Okay, somebody's in Florida. Whoa.
Or Arizona.
Where are you, Facebook user? We can't see your name.
So we're using this Restream. Unless you sign up with Restream and connect it to your Facebook, you just show up as Facebook user, unfortunately. But after the show,
Mary, I think Mary, you're in. North Carolina. Okay. I thought you were in Florida.
That's good weather for that.
97 in North Carolina. What are we complaining about? That is steamy.
I'm not complaining.
No, I know. I'm not complaining. You're complaining because it's getting cooler. But yeah, those lilacs are lasting. Usually they like bloom and then die. It's like, oh, lilacs, and they're gone. Like our magnolia. But the lilacs are like the scent is blowing in the windows. I'm clipping them and bringing them in. So that's what happens when it gets cool. All the blooms last longer.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite smelling flower. We had that little lilac tree. Remember that little round lilac tree in the front? It was
I love that tree.
Yeah, and we lost it, unfortunately. But yeah, every time it bloomed, it was like I'd like stick my head in the into that bush and be like,
that's what I'm doing.
It's so good, man. I love that smell. That's one of my favorite smells.
So when you sit on our back deck right now, like if you're doing it this week, you can smell those lilacs. So nice. Mary said, I'm anonymous.
Hopefully they last for another week so we can take a look.
Yeah, be here next week. Is it next weekend?
Yeah, well, next Monday.
Oh, yeah. Somebody has a birthday tomorrow.
Yes, yay! I do. Yes, I do. Birthday. Thank you. Thank you. It's nothing.
May 21st.
Just another trip around the sun.
That's right. Another good trip around the sun. How's it going? Your exercise. Let's talk about that real quick. The Oculus.
How's it going? Oh, it's going. Yeah, it's going great. A long time ago, I got in that car accident and I had shoulder surgery. So I think that, doing those intense, those high intensity ones. So the other day, today's Friday. So like Wednesday, I woke up and I was like, man, my shoulder is killing me. Like I did a double intense and then I did like a low intense just to eat up the time.
Wow.
But that next day I was like, man, my shoulder is killing me. I'm hoping it strengthens my shoulder. So I had rotator cuff. I was in a bad car accident. I had rotator cuff surgery, and it's been an issue for the last 12 years now.
Yeah,
14 years.
Long.
Yeah.
I think it should probably strengthen it, don't you?
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm just trying not to go, full force. You can do the motions without
don't rip anything.
Yeah.
Did you follow me on there on the board or no?
I don't know. I don't even know how to do that. I know you followed me. Well, I know you're like, hey, double platinum day. Good job. I was like, how do you even know that?
Well, you popped up in my leaderboard, and I have all these others that I'm following. You're way up top, like 6,000 points, and here's Judi Bishala, 300. I'm like, I just did a tough workout. How did he get 6,000 points today? Well, that's why you're doing triple workouts. Oh my gosh.
We were showing my daughter's boyfriend came by last night. We were telling him about it, and he's like, "Let me give it a try." So I took a video of him. It's just so funny to see.
It is
it's so funny to see yourself doing it because when you're in it, you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm really smooth," and then you look at it.
I know Hattie tried it too for the first time, which I thought she's gonna poo-poo it because she's like, "That's not a workout. That's like a video game." She got so into it. She's like athletic. My daughter, I'm talking about, she's dancing around. She's jumping. She's in it like Shannon. The first time she did it, she wasn't just like this, but she took that off. She goes, that is fun.
Yeah, right.
I knew you'd get into it. Yeah.
That's exactly what he said. He said, he goes, I can see how people can get it, into this type of workout because it was a lot of fun. It is fun. It is fun.
I'm finally getting into the boxing because Coach Mark, I heard him say, you have to wait till they get close to your face. Because I was doing this like all over the place, but you have to wait
till you uppercut yourself into the shop.
The uppercuts are hard, but if you wait till they come towards your face, then you can do it. I was like, who can do this and then this? Oh, it's because it's this.
Yeah, right. You're supposed to be hitting somebody's face.
I just did a low intensity and I was done after 10 minutes. I was like, whew.
Yeah, the boxing's a lot harder, and to me a little bit less fun. I don't think it's quite as fun as the flow.
As your Swan Lake.
Is my Swan? You can't Swan Lake with boxing gloves on. Believe me.
I'm feeling better about boxing. I'm not feeling like it's violent anymore. That's what I didn't like because now I'm just feeling my core and it's feeling more like a workout.
Yeah. So. No, it's fun. I'm sticking with it. I didn't do it today yet just because we got the updated done.
Yeah, me either. I'm gonna do it after this.
Yeah, I gotta go get a haircut. My hair's getting a little kooky and out of hand.
I saw it kooking out in the breeze by your garden.
It's hard to tame it when it gets longer. Then it's like I wake up and we're trying to do live videos, and it's like, man, I can't do anything with this hair.
Hey, I
Plus,
think
my
Mary
beard's
has
getting a
a
little
birthday.
crazy.
She says, me too. She has a birthday on your birthday.
Oh, yeah. Who was it?
I think it's Mary. It's Facebook user, but
No,
she's
it's I just saw it. It's Vanessa Harding. We have
Vanessa's here.
the exact same birthday, the same exact
Wait
day.
a minute. Vanessa's here from New Zealand.
I believe. Well, if that's her,
Seriously?
unless somebody else has the exact same birthday, unless there's another
I
one.
would
But
be so happy if Vanessa was here from New Zealand. She was
I did.
one of
I
our
did.
first LOL and
Oh,
Mary.
and Mary, really? Tomorrow's
And
your birthday?
Mary.
Your birthday's
Oh my
tomorrow, then?
gosh, Mary too.
Wow! Holy
Oh my
cow!
gosh, that's such a great birthday. I love
Oh.
great birthdays.
But yeah, I just it
Okay.
was like it was my buddy Rob, who I grew up with, my best friend. His sister's birthday is today, so I always remember her birthday. So as I was, click on today's birthdays in Facebook, it shows my birthday tomorrow, and it said, yeah, Vanessa, exact same day. I was like, holy cow! I don't think it's ever come up like that. We have this exact same birthday.
So I think it is Vanessa because she just said yes, and I just Googled big day, small world. I just Googled the time. It's 4 a.m. in New Zealand. I knew it. And I think it's winter there, isn't it?
Early riser like me, Vanessa.
Early riser. Happy birthday. Well, it's already your birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's tomorrow. It's Vanessa from the future.
It is tomorrow. In New Zealand, it is tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, on with spring. Sorry, Vanessa, these recipes are for spring. I think you're in the middle of winter. Maybe you're heading into winter. Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I think you're heading into winter.
All righty, let's jump into the meal plan here. Let me get this here. Oh no, I did do that. Here we go.
So we have been enjoying all the new spring vegetables that are popping up at the farmer's market the last few weeks. I actually took a video last Saturday and I meant to put it up, but unlike Phil, I don't do my videos live because I start and stop and I take videos of lots of different things. He just kind of does it in one shot. But then I have to edit them because I have all these clips. So that's what I'm like procrastinating on that because we're so busy with everything else. And that's the fun stuff that I want to be doing. I mean, it's all fun, but so I think I will try to edit that when we're done with this and get it up there. So last Saturday, I took a video. We bought all of our spring plant or our herbs at the farmer's market last Saturday, and everything is in for spring, like asparagus and spring onions and radishes and all the spring veggies. So we wanted to make sure we got a nice spring menu out because you can get all this stuff now. And I'm going to buy tons of asparagus tomorrow. I just love asparagus. You can do so much with it. But we're going tomorrow and I'm going to buy even more asparagus. But this one is just super easy and quick and delicious because we highlight the asparagus. So, yeah, it's just like a nice light pasta. Now it is a cream sauce, but the cream sauce is really light. It's not a cheese sauce. So sometimes we make like the cheesy cream sauces. This one is just a really light sauce because you need something to tie it together. Like typically in the past, I would do this with olive oil. We make a lot of pasta. We used to make a lot of pastas like this with olive oil.
Yeah, I was, even growing up, we never did a lot of like heavy cream sauce, but even if we go out to restaurants, I was never an Alfredo guy or like any of that super heavy, heavy. I mean, that's like a lot of cheese too, but like just that heavy cream sauce. But yeah, just kind of keeping it light. You do want, without the olive oil, you do want something in there. But again, same thing. I really don't want like a heavy cream sauce on things. It's just too, I don't know. It's not very appealing.
It's too heavy for spring too.
Yeah, cheese is a little different. Like the cheese sauces are a little different for me, but the like heavy cream sauces, it's just it's a little too much. But
but we needed to add something just to give it a little because I've tried so many times. I mean, sometimes you can do this with just almond parm, and I do this with veggies, kind of to like replace the olive oil. But with pasta, especially whole grain, it just gets too gummy. You know, you need something to like make it slick. If you don't do a red sauce. I don't know, just from my experience, there might be recipes out there. And if you guys know of one, let us know. But we have been trying and trying. Like I finally got the pesto with no oil to where I liked it. If anybody's tried the pesto, I love it. With just using the almond parm and the lemon juice and stuff, it works. So I thought maybe, and I did this over and over. I tried it that way because I was trying not to use a cream sauce just because I wanted, more like an olive oil. I couldn't get it. It's just too, I don't know, too dry. So the cream sauce, I didn't want a cheese sauce. I wanted like a light cream sauce, and it worked. And it's really, really a delicious cream sauce too, but it's light. It's not a heavy one like Phill was saying. Yeah, so peas are a nice fresh spring vegetable. Is it a vegetable? I guess so, vegetable. Legume.
Yeah.
And then look for thinner stalks. I've always heard this, like thinner, like maybe are tastier, but I don't know. I like thick stalks too. I think it all tastes good to me personally, but I like that the thinner ones, they look pretty and they cook quickly, and they're like more uniform. You know, they cook more uniformly, and they only take like 4 minutes. So you just chop them up, you know, trim the ends off, chop them up into like little bite-sized pieces, and then saute them in the pan, in the hot pan, you know, dry. 4 minutes. You just keep tossing them, and they're like that nice crisp tender. So good. And then we're just using frozen peas because it's really easy. You know, they're just quick. But you can certainly use fresh peas, which are, you can probably find them at the farmer's market or any grocery store if you want to be really fresh and springy. But those will probably take longer to cook. So I would maybe throw those in first and get those going in the dry pan with maybe a splash of water, and then the asparagus, because I think you don't want hard peas, you know. The thawed frozen will be nice, just, you know, really good. You know, you're just warming them up, really. And then the only other thing with this is we toss in some toasted pine nuts, just like in pesto, because they're so nice and tasty and good. It just gives it a little something. And the piece de resistance, as Frank would say, is lemon, fresh lemon juice, and some lemon zest. So think about that. If you're looking at this pasta dish, light cream sauce with that like burst of bright lemon, not a lot. I think it's just 1 tablespoon, and then a teaspoon or so of lemon zest. It's not lemony, but it just gives it that like that zing, you know, spring zing.
Spring zing.
Yes. But it's not real lemony. It just gives it that brightness. So it's like a plate of spring right there. Really good. It's really, really yummy. But, you know, just like any whole grain pasta, if you're getting familiar with cooking with it, you got to kind of eat it quickly, you know, don't let it sit there, because I don't know, it's just something about it with no oil to keep it slippery. It just kind of starts to get gummy a little bit. You know, it always does. Just like when you put it in your fridge, it's good reheated the next day, but you might have to thin it with some water, you know, so it's best hot. As soon as you add the cream sauce to the pasta, stir it all up, serve it, because that's the way it's best right away.
Yeah, I find a lot of these dishes, you know, just cooking this way. I mean, that's one thing that, you know, is a little bit different than using the oils and things, where things are, they stay a little bit better. Where, and I am a person who, hey, if this is a hot meal, I want to eat it hot right when it's served. I don't like it eating things cold. I'm not a big, you know, especially things like this, reheating it. You're right, it comes out, and personally, I don't care that it, you know, if it's a different consistency. I know people have issues with that.
If it tastes good, I don't care either.
Right, but in the end, I want to have it like, you know, with that sauce being a little saucy.
Yeah,
you know, it does get a little, you know, things do get a little kind of, you know, either firm or just a different consistency. But,
with 12 ounces of this pasta, you put all the cream sauce in, stir it up, and it's just the consistency that we want. Like you said, it's creamy, it's kind of slippery, you know, but if you let it sit there, you know, it's going to get coagulated. That's a terrible word for food, coagulated. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean.
Eat it hot, people.
Add more lemon juice if that happens. No, but play around with the lemon juice, because I like it lemony. So I put the lemon on the table, and so I just squeeze more on my bowl, you know, because I like it with that brightness. So try that. I think that's it with that one. I think everybody will love it. It's a really good one. I love asparagus.
Head over to the Eggless Sandwich.
I'm going to bow to this sandwich. Do you know how long I've waited for this? Oh my gosh, I've tried every mayo under the sun, plant-based mayo, not with oil, without oil. I mean, I happen to love just mayo because it tastes just like mayonnaise, but it is loaded with oil. And when I first started eating this way, I would make things with just mayo and earth balance butter and all that stuff. but I weaned myself off that. I mean, I think once in a while I will have some earth balance. Not the mayo though. I weaned myself off of all that stuff for the most part, but I could never get a mayo. I mean, I just tried and tried for years. And then we finally came up with the chickpea salad, which is sort of this idea, which I love. We mix hummus in with the chickpeas, our hummus, our favorite hummus, it's called. And that I love. But that doesn't taste exactly like egg salad, which I used to love like my whole life till I started eating this way. But this one, we've nailed it because we created this mayo and it is finally there. And then, so it is cashew-based mayo, and we're using purely tofu, no chickpeas. So that's just tofu. But the tofu does give it, for me, it gives it that egg white consistency. I like egg salad. What I used to eat is egg salad, light and fluffy. I loved lots of egg whites in mine. And then I'd only put like one egg yellow. What is it? Yolk. I forgot what it's even called. Egg yellow.
Oven mittens.
Yeah, but I loved it with lots of egg whites. So that's what this tastes like to me. And Phill came up with that.
Yeah, it's good. And I mean, growing up, the only time I remember having egg salad for me, and I know you used to eat it more. My dad would make it every once in a while, but after Easter, like all the egg dishes would come out. We'd have two dozen eggs to make. My dad would make potato salad, which is what that reminds me of. Egg salad reminds me of Dad's potato salad.
Yeah, me too.
A dozen eggs in it. But
you loved hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, later in life, I loved it, and then I would just make it. Like I would hard-boiled eggs and make egg salad every once in a while. But I hadn't had it now in years because you're right. Just trying to get it, and while the chickpea salad is good, it's a tasty sandwich. It's not the same to me. It doesn't.
It tastes like egg salad. It is tasty. I love that salad, but it's not really egg salad.
But for me, this one, the pickles and the dill, adding that extra dill in there, really, that's what makes it for me. And that, like that, when because again, for anyone who kind of tries to develop recipes or kind of doctors things up and tries to make stuff, like as you go, you're adding stuff, you're measuring, you're adding, you're trying, you're remaking.
Forgetting what you added, remaking the entire thing. Yeah, I hear you.
So I just made it the basic way the first time, and then it's like, yeah, it's okay, and then it kind of got back burnered and things I'll pull back out or whatever. But I was making those pickles, and I had all that dill. It's like, oh, I'm going to put some fresh dill in it. So it was just like, and like whatever. We tweaked out the mayo, and it all kind of came together. I was like, oh man, that was really good. But yeah, that fresh dill, man, that's what really did it. And I don't know. I've just been on a bit of a dill.
You have.
Every time I'm in that pantry, man, I'm looking at those pickles. I cannot wait till those pickles are.
I cannot wait either. Am I going to get any when I see you?
We'll bring not when I see you this week. They're not going to be done till June. I got it on the calendar. June.
Oh, I'm not going to see you. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get any when I see you.
June 2nd, the pickles will be done. The first that batch, and then I have the other two that'll be done the following whatever. It's about 8 days later. The cauliflower.
Look at that fresh dill in the photo. It looks so good.
Yeah, I planted some dill because of this. Not much, but yeah, figured I'd try it. But yeah, what a great sandwich. And again, you're right. It's light. It's good. You can whip it up for lunch. You can bring it. I let it sit in the fridge. You can let it sit overnight and really let the flavors come together. Use a little bit more of that Himalayan salt if you like that. A little bit more eggy taste.
That's what I just want to talk about. For me, I think this needs it. I don't know. Like some people might not want to put that in or might not have it. But for me, that eggy sulfur flavor makes it egg salad. So I tried it without it because I wanted to know, because I know people are going to ask. And yeah, it's still good. It's tasty. With that mayo, it's tasty. But what turns it into egg salad for me is that Himalayan black salt. And if you don't know what that is, it's just this black salt I'm kind of reading right now. It's mined in India, and it was really used for Ayurvedic medicine, like holistic type, like healing properties. So it's like good for you. It's like filled with minerals. And for some reason, I used to know this, it has that sulfuric taste. I think it has to do with the way the salt is mined. I can't remember, but I'm going to find out. But it does. It just had, when you smell hard-boiled eggs, it has that eggy sulfur smell. That's what this tastes like. So I think we only had like a teaspoon and a half, but I was actually sprinkling it on mine after, and it really does add that. So
you just have to be careful.
I think it needs it. So order some if you can't find it. I order mine from Amazon.
And you don't use it a lot. I mean, this is kind of what you use it for. I've had that bag for a while, and it's the same thing. This is kind of what I use it for. Or I put some in the tofu scrambles and things like that. I want to taste a little bit more eggy. But in the end, it's salt. So if you want it really eggy, it's going to be really salty.
Really salty.
Adding more and more to it.
We don't add any other salt to this.
Right. So just be careful. I was just going to say, I wouldn't salt and pepper it before and then add that in. Try it and see.
But if you order a bag on Amazon, it will last forever. It's salt. So, just seal it up really well, put it in your cupboard and experiment with it. Like if you make this egg salad, if you make, like you said, tofu scrambles, I mean, it's worth it to me. I've had that bag forever. I'm still using the same bag. I think I gave you some of that bag, didn't I? Or no?
Yeah, I think that's where I got it.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. Still
works. Flavor lasts. Yeah, but I feel like you need that. That's not an ingredient. And I know people are going to ask us, and you can make it without for sure. It'll still be tasty. But to make it egg salad, you kind of need that Himalayan black salt.
Yeah, there's no other eggy flavor in it but that.
I have not. I can get that at the spice shop. Yeah. If you have a spice shop, like a gourmet spice shop or any type of spice shop, you can get it there. I forgot the spice shop does have it.
And then load it up with whatever you want. I put pickles and onions on mine, and she's got some sprouts on here. You put tomatoes and cucumber. You can really. I don't know. That's a good thing about that egg type of salad is you can really just put just about, you can put tomatoes on it. I mean, anything you really want. So
I tried this open-faced. I gave it to Frank with I made open-faced like whole wheat baguette toast rounds. And he didn't like it like that. He just liked a classic egg salad sandwich. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that is definitely more appealing. It just looked fancy. I was like, why am I trying to make this fancy? I just want an egg salad sandwich. So I had to redo it again. But all delicious. Yeah, chill it for at least an hour, preferably more. It just gets better as it sits. The next day it was really good.
Yeah, I had leftovers the next day as well. Same thing. Delicious.
Delicious. Fresh and ready for spring.
All right, we got the farmer's market salad with the spring zing dressing.
Is it spring zing or spring zinger? I called it
spring zinger. Sorry.
Oh, okay, zinger. Okay, good.
Sorry.
Spring zinger.
Yeah, I mean, the idea. I know Jude's been to the farmers markets. Ours hasn't opened yet. I think they start this weekend actually here, but it's not as good as that one. That you guys.
Yeah, ours is awesome.
And they have a few around here. They're a little bit different, but I mean, the idea here was the dressing, and then kind of built the salad around that. Just kind of using things that you can get at the farmers market, including I know you can get nuts and fresh bread and different stuff. So I mean, the idea is to throw stuff together. What's great about these salads is you can add anything you want. I mean, that dressing is really good. So I don't think there's anything that wouldn't go with it. I mean, you could kind of pick and choose whatever vegetables you want, but it was just a good combo. I mean, I like to mix things up. We use radicchio in here, which just for a little bit of bitterness. I know my wife likes arugula, for that same reason. It's a little bit bitter.
I add that to mine.
To contrast with the kind of the sweet, zesty dressing as well. But I like a lot of stuff in my salads. I like nuts. I like seeds. I like croutons. I like more than just, hey, lettuce and tomato, that type of thing. So. And
we really chop it up for this one. I think we say chop, shred, and even shave the carrots or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. But it's really nice. I've said it before. I love chopped salads because I like all the little bites, like you're just saying. So you might get a pecan on one, or a crouton, or a little bite of an avocado, or you get little bites. And when you have bitter greens like this, like the radicchio and arugula, I don't think arugula is in the recipe, but if you throw that in, I do. Olives, Kalamata olives for saltiness. You get a little bit of everything in each bite, so I love that. So try it that way. And it's so pretty. Look at that. When you mix it all together, all those colors, and then that dressing, it's just it is a zinger. It's made with tahini, which I love because my daughter has a nut allergy. She hasn't tried this one yet, but I know she's going to love it because she loves honey mustard. She loves those like tangy dressings. So she's going to love this. And we have a couple other tahini dressings, but they taste like tahini. They have that smoky flavor. This one doesn't, because we add, let's see, what do we add? We add the vinegars, white balsamic vinegar, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and Dijon mustard. Those are the zingers. So that takes away all the smokiness, and that just gives you like a creaminess. And then what do we add for sweetness? Because it's
maple.
a little sweet.
Syrup.
Yeah, a little maple syrup. It's not too sweet, because most salad dressings have added sugar. You know, if you buy them at the store, people are used to that little bit of sweetness. It's not super sweet. It just is a nice balance. It's mostly zesty.
Yeah, that's a good. It was, and again, this is one that was kind of built off of the original. You know, when I started the 28-day plan, it was built off of a dressing that we had, that you had given me, and then I was just kind of doctoring it up. You know, hey, I'm going to add some
lemon,
just add a few different things to it to make it a little bit different. That's the kind of where it started. So I pulled that out of my old notes, and it was like, let's make this into something, rather than just a random throw together here. But I think it really came
really good.
It's really good. Made it 1,000 times.
You've made this 1,000 times. You got this down.
I mean, I used to bring it to work almost every day, but I would just eyeball it. I would have used the basic recipe, and then I would, be like, okay, vinegar, a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of the nutritional yeast, like whatever I would do. I never had any measurements, and every day would taste a little bit different. But here I just, whatever. I had gone through and measured everything out this time and kind of tweaked it out. But yeah, it came out great. But we tried this the other day. Again, I wanted my daughter to try it. She just came home from college the other day, so now I'm having her kind of test. And it is funny just because she does. She still eats meat, and we think she's a little lactose intolerant, so she does cut back a lot on dairy stuff, but she will try everything that we do. So whenever she's like, oh yeah, this is good, I know it's going to be good, because I know, because sometimes she's like, nah, not for me, that kind of thing. It's like, right, well, you don't know what you're talking about. But no, it's always great just to have another mouth to, because there are things where I'll be talking about stuff and she'll just be like, oh, you say that about everything. Everything's delicious and everything.
I know. I feel like that we do that, but can't help it. Can't help it that everything we make is that good, because we don't stop with less than being that good. I mean, that's what we're doing here, because we want it to be good. And it is frustrating sometimes. I had to make, like I said, I made that pasta a bunch of times. Like, personally, I'm not going to be making the spring farfalle with asparagus and peas anytime soon, because I made it weeks ago multiple times. I mean, I just, how it is with anything. You could love pizza, and if you eat it 3 days in a row, you don't want pizza.
Right.
I might, but I love pizza.
Well, part of it too is, and they brought this up, and I can't remember exactly what she said. It was just like, oh, you should add whatever to it. And I said, I know, but that's all stuff that I know I like. I'm trying to make things that I know everybody's going to like, not just, it can't just be about me and what, because things would be the same every time. I'd be adding all the things that I like every single time. It's like, you got to get out of your comfort zone to try to create something that everybody's going to enjoy.
Just like the cabbage rolls. Like, you don't love cabbage rolls. I love cabbage rolls. And you were just kind of like, I don't know, and I'm like, I want to work on the cabbage rolls because I love them. So I'm going to put more passion into them, because I know what they could be if I really work at it. And those came out.
I have my own cabbage roll in the works.
You do? Good, because I think that'd be great if we do different types of cabbage rolls.
Sure, well, right, that's
yeah. But these came out fantastic, and I don't know. I just feel like, if you really, if you kind of we gotta have to push ourselves to make things that other people want, just like the fast food menu. Right. You brought that up, and I was kind of like, what? Why are we going a fast food route? But it's just that food that people from the past, nostalgic, those flavors. And I'm thinking, it's not really fast food. And then
it's good food fast.
It really, I think a couple people signed up to the meal plan because of that, because they wrote us emails about it. And I was like, people like that. It's fun. They kind of see us in a new light. Like, oh, I'm going to be getting food like that, So that was fun. So I never would have thought of that. I just wouldn't have. It wouldn't have come to me. But open your mind. Things that other people might want.
I'm looking after you, meal planners.
You really are, because he comes up with these things and I'm sort of like, and then he's like, hey, I'm just trying to give the people what they want. And I'm like, it always works. You're right. Let's do that. I'm putting egg salad on fancy toast with microgreens. I'm like, what am I doing?
I've lived 50 years of just pleasing myself. Now it's time to please other people. Culinarily, is that a word? I don't know. But,
culinary.
Yeah, the salad came out great. So give it a try. Make sure, and again, you can make your salad into whatever you want. If you don't like radicchio, I wouldn't eat a salad of radicchio. Like I threw that in there. And I really never was like a bitter greens guy. You know, I didn't really like that bitter stuff. But now when you blend that in, even when you put it on pizza, it's like the arugula on the pizza. And it's just like, man, that is really good on the pizza. So you start getting kind of a taste for some of those other, sensations when you're eating. And it's like, man, now we have it like that. Shannon buy arugula. She's like, I'm going to put arugula on my pizza. I'm like, put some on my half too.
Because once you learn about okay, so arugula is a bitter green and it'll give you that peppery flavor. So if you like pepper, just a sprinkling of it. Could I eat a whole bowl of arugula?
Right. Yeah.
As a salad? No, I'd have a stomachache. That'd burn my stomach. But when you learn and try things in different ways like that, then you start to love it. It's like a sprinkling of arugula on pizza is delicious. A sprinkling of radicchio in a salad like this, that bitterness. We have a whole lesson on this in the Kickstart on flavor combinations. And if you want to go and read it or reread it, it really is true. Once you learn how to balance, like sweet balances salty. That's why people throw a little bit of salt on cookies, because salt doesn't make it salty. Salt brings out the flavor of the cookie. That's what it does. So that's like this, like radicchio added to this isn't going to make it super bitter. It'll just bring out the flavors of everything that's going on in the salad. So
yeah, you're good with when we came over and you're like, hey, I made pizza. And then there's a salad topper for the pizza, but don't eat the salad on the side. Leave it on the pizza. Those are things I always have salad on the side. It's like, man, it was so good like that. And I don't know. I like when things like that happen because I'm always like, now we got to eat the salad on the pizza. I'm like, this is delicious on the pizza. Why wasn't I doing that before?
Now we got to eat the banh mi tacos. Now they're my favorite.
There you go.
What's she gonna make me now?
I try not to be closed-minded, and even and I try to teach my kids the same thing. When things happen, it's like, you know what? It may not be what you wanted or what you thought would be good, but sometimes it's a surprise, and it's just like, man, I would have never done that, and I was even like, because even like events when they happen, it's like, oh, this is gonna, whatever we're going to, oh, we got to go to this now. This is gonna be boring. It's like you never know what's gonna happen. Maybe you'll have the best time of your life, and you never know. But that's how I look at those things. It's like, all right, let's give it a try before we start complaining about it.
Yeah, I do that with Julie, with some of hers where I'm like, what? The one that I was kind of questioning going way, way back. And everybody who's made these before is going to thank me for going with it. But the taquitos, she was describing the taquitos to me. And I was like, wait, what? How's that going to work? I was thinking of flautas. I've had those before. They seemed kind of greasy to me. The ones I had were real skinny and they didn't have much filling. And I'm thinking it's going to be all corn tortilla. And I was just like, I don't know. And then she's like, oh, we could make a jalapeno lime crema. And I was like, a what? And so she's a chef. And so she just talked. I was like, and I mean, almost every time I go with what she suggests, but I can't think of another example. But along the way, there's always I'm like, wait, what? I don't know. Because I'm not a chef and I don't know of these things. But then she started describing the potato filling and I was like, that does sound really yummy.
And that's something I would have never done. And I was talking to my buddy Javier, and I'm like, yeah, we're making these taquitos, and they have potatoes in them. He's like, yeah, that's how we have them. That's exactly how we have them. I'm like, really? Because I don't even remember going to I was always the, hey, I go to a restaurant and I'm gonna have the steak or I'm gonna have the beef. Like that's it. Like those are my two choices. I'm not having chicken. I'm not having pork. I'm not having potato or vegetable. Like I'd always stick with what I knew. But I don't even remember that being ever on a menu, like potato stuffing. And he's like, that's the traditional way to eat. I'm like, really?
Well, that's
like, all right, well, I had no idea.
So at Mexican restaurants, I would just stick to what I knew, like tacos or quesadillas. I would never, or maybe even fajitas, but I wouldn't order taquitos. I wouldn't even know what they were, so I probably avoided them. And I thought they were just corn chips. I don't know. I thought they were corn chips with stuff on, like almost like nachos. And then she was describing them back then, and then I'm like, does she mean flautas? I don't know. But anyway, I'm so glad I trusted her and went with it because, you know,
but that's the point, is you give it a try. And now, I mean, look how many people made. They're like, these are awesome.
Everyone loves
I was doing the same thing when I made them, and they are a little tricky. Sometimes they burst, or sometimes if you don't, you know, if you roll them too tight or they crack, you know. So sometimes, I mean, I think out of the tray, I think I lost 2 or 3, you know, 3 burst out.
Yeah, I mean, just like anything.
But yeah, then you live and learn. It's like, yeah, maybe I'll roll these a little looser. But, you know, like the potato stays together too. It's not like everything's going to seep out into the pan. So yeah, and not only did those come out great, but man, that jalapeno lime crema, that is my go-to on, you know, Taco Tuesdays or whenever we make any Mexican food. Like,
oh my God,
I'd rather have that than any of the sour
creams. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like when you and I make our dressings, like with this one, or whatever dressing or sauces we're making ourselves, because Julie makes some, we make some. So we have to test and add and start again, and you know, and that's how we do it. But what's fun about Julie's, and this one in particular, I remember it because I follow her recipes to a T. Unless if something seems off to me, I tweak it. I don't know. She's the chef, but I still do. I tweak certain things. Mostly I don't. But sometimes, like this dressing, I remember the jalapeno lime crema, just followed it to a T, put it in the blender, whipped it up, took the spoon. I tasted it. I was like, oh my gosh. So that has happened so many times with her. Like that one, the nacho crema, the same thing. I was blown away by my first, because you're not tasting it as you're going. You know, I just added everything to the blender, whipped it up. First bite, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Julie. And then it's like all these possibilities with that and what we use it on. It became our #1 taco topper. Wow. Well, for me, it rivals the nacho crema. I mean, that one to me is such a favorite. I put that on ever, and I haven't made it now in a while because we're cooking so much.
Well, it's funny just because, I mean, even like the cashew sour cream. So I put that out, and I've had people say like, wow, this is, I mean, it does taste like sour cream. It's very close. Yeah. And I've had some people say like, you know, and you have like super thick sour cream. It's not going to compare directly. I get that. But I always say like, this tastes just like sour cream. That is one of those things where it's like, you're giving it to them as, you're not saying this is sour cream. So it's not, they have no preconceived notion of what it tastes like. So they're just tasting it on how it tastes. So that always blows everyone away because there's really nothing to compare it to. It's just like, wow, that is delicious. Like, you know, it's jalapeno crema. You know, it's like, oh, okay, it's jalapeno crema. And you say, well, this is like sour cream knockoff. They're comparing it to the sour cream. It's like, some people are like, this isn't exactly like sour cream. You know, so there's nothing to compare it to. So I've never had anyone complain. The only complaints I ever get is like, it might be a little too, because I make it spicy. I'll make it hot. If my wife's eating it, I won't put seeds in it or anything like that. I'll put a little extra juice if I'm doing it. Yeah, I like it spicy, but that's the only complaint I ever get. It's like, that's if mom has it, it's like, oh, it's a little spicy.
Okay, but like, there's no comparing. Like, who sits down and takes a spoonful of sour cream, like dairy sour?
Oh, I hear you.
Nobody. So like, I'm not going to take a spoon. I mean, I am, because we're creating this stuff. I'm going to taste it with just the spoon. But here's the idea. Here's the idea. Put an entire taco together and drizzle it on just like you would sour cream. Now eat it and tell me if you like it. Now eat it and tell me if it tastes like sour cream, because that's the intention. It's to that, not a spoonful of it, you know? And so all this stuff together makes a delicious taco. The sour cream, I mean, the cashew sour cream just adds that coolness, that creaminess. It's not the entire taco. You know, so that's what we do. Just like ketchup. I don't want a spoonful of ketchup. I don't. It's not good. Do I love dunking fries in ketchup? Yes. You know, same thing.
Well, it's funny when the Javier came by like the whole family came by, and I made tacos, and we had a taco bar and everything. And they had, and this is going back now, probably a couple of years, 2 years ago, or maybe even about 2 years ago. But so I had that, and I just put it on the table. I did make regular, so they have younger kids, so I did have like regular meat tacos. but I didn't have any regular sour cream. So I just put out the cashew sour cream. And we're eating, and the kids came and they were eating. We're all eating, and we were talking about this sour cream. And his son, Andres, was eating tacos, and he's just like, "Oh, let me try that sour cream." And I'm like, "That's what you've been eating the whole time? Like, that's the only thing you have?" He's like, "Oh, okay, well, it's really good then," because I didn't even know. But you're right; it was on the taco. He had whatever. He had meat, he had cheese, he had lettuce. I mean, it was a whole put together taco. But
Right.
That's a few times that's happened where I'm talking to somebody. I had made an eggplant. One of our years ago, it was a Christmas party, and I had made eggplant parmesan into like a dip with toast rounds.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there telling somebody about it when somebody else walked up, and I was just talking about eggplant. And so now he's standing there eating the dip as well, and we're talking about eggplant. And he's just like, "I don't eat eggplant." He's like, "Oh, I can't stand eggplant." And so we're sitting there listening as he's dipping it in and filling his mouth. So I'm thinking he has no idea where he's even eating right now then, because he's just random dip. I'm just sitting eating, complaining about eggplant that he's eating. So from that point on, he's like, "Holy cow!" He's like, "I had no idea what it was. I thought it was just some sort of Italian, dip." But.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about opening your mind to new things, making things in new ways, new flavors, because you only know what you've had. And I've had people say, "I don't like eggplant. I don't like this. I don't like that." And I might do that too with something. I don't like beets, but I keep trying. I keep trying to like them. But yeah, something like that. Maybe you haven't had it, especially eggplant, like prepared in the ways. Maybe you only had it prepared a certain way. When you put it with like our delicious red sauce, it turns into something different. Have you had it all mixed up into a dip where you put it on toast, like you just said? That's really delicious. You're getting all out of that red sauce flavor. Have you had it in baba ganoush, which is like you smoke it? Now it has a completely different smoky flavor. Well, that's still eggplant. Now I just fell in love with the Chinese eggplant, which I can't even believe I passed it right up at the farmer's market. Like, I don't know what to do with that thing. See, that's where I'm closed-minded. Henry, our farmer, sends out this whole list of recipes, like every week, what to do with what's in season. It's so cool. I'm going to start printing them. I did that last year sometimes. Typing them up in the group. Because it's great ideas. They use oil, which, that's a little bit of a bummer, but it still gives me ideas on what to do with it.
Sure.
And now that I know that eggplant bakes in 30 minutes soft with 0 oil, I can't wait to experiment with that.
Yeah.
It's so tasty and it's so nice. So we can do a lot with that.
Leave the skin on. You can eat the skin.
Leave the skin on. It's really pretty.
I know. It's funny because we eat eggplant. There's some people that just don't eat it. Yeah. I don't eat eggplant. I just have no idea about it. But yeah, it is great. In fact, I was just messing with the recipe the other day and just grilling eggplant. So just literally just grilling the slices, no oil, no nothing, and they come super brown. They came out really good. So
ooh, that sounds good.
And what I like about them, you cut them thick and you do that, like the outside gets that crispy brown, and then the inside just starts to cook, and it has kind of that pillowy, like mushy inside. I'm like, man, it's really good. So anywho. So this is the farmer's salad. So we'll just, and the dressing's here, but there's also the dressing, just a standalone. So you can put the dressing on any salad. It's so good with that.
Yeah, go to the recipe box and search Spring Zinger. The one thing I do want to say about that search, you only have to put one name in, but sometimes it trips me up because I'm trying to put the whole name in, and if you don't spell it right, the barbecue sauce is what trips me up because we made it sweet ampersands and sassy barbecue sauce, and I'm typing sweet and, and I'm like, where's the barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I just put in whatever the word I know. So
that's all you need to do.
Yeah,
BBQ, and you'll get it. And then the other ones will pop up too. But if you know one word of the recipe, just type that in. If you can't, that's what we're trying to be clever. Like Spring Zinger, it's like, I want that new tahini dressing.
What the hell they call that?
That's why I know that is a problem. I was playing with that. Should we call this Spring Zinger tahini dressing? I want them to be able to find it.
Well, oh jeez, excuse me.
Don't die on us, Phil.
So if you are a meal planner, there is there's kind of the new recipes page, which shows, and there's only 3. So when there's more than 3, so like the dressing didn't make the cut on the top 3, but at the recipe box, when you click on the recipe box, the newest stuff's always at the top, and then everything just kind of keeps pushing down. So just keep that in mind. You could also filter by the drop down. So put just dressings, it's going to put it at the top anyway, or things that are frequent, but it'll just show the dressing. So it's a lot easier to kind of go through. But yeah, if you try to search, I would keep it as minimal as possible when you do the search, like that spring, or whatever. What if because sometimes, right, it'll be there's another word that you had used, and I forget. Actually, that's when I'm adding recipes, because like the fresh squeezed lemon, when I type in fresh and then I try to do squeeze, but it's freshly. So if you don't add the ly, it doesn't come up. Oh yeah, exactly. Freshly squeezed, not fresh squeezed. So yeah, just keep it simple with the searches when you're doing that. Let me get rid of that there. So. But yeah, good thing. So next week, well, for one, next week, man, we're going to do more of a barbecue thing, so that'll be nice. So Memorial Day is coming up a week from Monday, so we're going to have some barbecue foods, which will be good, and that'll last for the summer. I mean, I know we just got the grill. It sucked because last year, and I know you knew. So I have a deck. It's like a 10 by 12 foot deck or whatever, and I have the grill out there. And there was like typhoon winds last fall, and it blew my grill through the gate, down, 12 stairs into my yard. So I never knew what happened to the grill. It's like I dragged it under the deck and I left it there all winter. It was covered up, and I wrapped it up and just left it. So this year it's just like uncover it and see what happened to the grill. So like the door's hanging off, the one wheel is bent, so now but it lit right up. So it's like, all right, let's carry that thing back up. I'm not going to spend another $600 on a grill. But yeah, it's grilling season, and it's like I want to be able to grill stuff. I want to be able to grill vegetables. I want to be able to grill food. I want to be able to grill a lot of stuff. We're having people over for barbecues and things like that. So having stuff on hand, whether it be mains or sides and things like that, just to be able to kind of, pop in. But next week's going to kind of kick that off. We'll have some, we already got some great sides in the coffers, and, another main. We're tweaking a few things out right now, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the barbecue menu next week.
Yeah. I just had an idea with Dad's potato salad.
Interesting. Oh yeah. I see where you're going with that.
That could work. Yum.
We also have the podcast that drops on Tuesday. It's going to be another two-parter. It's going to be on weight loss. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
We have a lot to say about weight loss. People are very interested in that, and there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, we're going to break it into two, because I don't know. We think it's enough for two. Like, and we're shooting for like an hour. Not that we cut ourselves off. Obviously, we don't. But yeah, it's maybe easier to digest if it's 2 episodes. So we're going to make it two-parter.
I mean, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes it's like I feel that people aren't getting into things because it's a 1 hour show and we got to cut this off. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
More information. I don't care that there's 2 parts, and I almost like it because it's like, oh, cool, another whole show with the same topic type of thing. So I don't know if we got a lot to say about things. I mean, I do kind of like 2-parters, because then it's like, all right, more on this next week, just like the tips and tricks, of last week. It's like, there's way too much stuff to try to stuff into an hour, and then you're just cutting stuff off. And, again, we had a lot of lead in, and, a little bit of, not a lot, but we had lead in and talking and, everything else. And I don't know, you don't want to be like, all right, let's just get to the tips. Let's get to the weight loss. Let's get to,
no, but I think that, I mean, like with me, the way I listen to podcasts, I just pause them, and then I just do my thing, and then I listen whenever. So I'm not sure it matters how long they are. I mean, it might be okay that they're 2 hours. I know Rich Roll's podcasts are over 2 hours, and sometimes I don't want them to end even then. I'm like, oh, and then they start to wrap it up. I'm like, I'm really into this. But like, I listen, I come back and I work for a little bit. If I go out and do some gardening, whatever I'm doing, I'll put it back on. I love that about podcasts.
Yeah, I tend to, and I have done that where I do have to pause it. But then I tend to lose where I am, because then sometimes I listen to my podcast on my phone. Sometimes I listen on my iPad. I have another iPad now. Like, it's like, where was I listening to this? Where am I? So I don't know. And sometimes then the next one comes out. It's just like, oh shoot, do I go back and listen to the last one, or do I go to the next one? So, and obviously they're just backlogged, so I do. But
anyway, I don't know. This is a good one. There's a lot of info in it, and a lot of this I learned in my nutrition class that I took on plant-based nutrition. I learned a ton of stuff, and I took notes. Here's my notebook.
Lest you think she's
Lots of
lying.
notes. My class. I've got 2 of these. I got 2 of these for my class. So I referred to my notes, but I do have it all up here. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. So don't forget, so you can just any platform, you can search for us. Here's a couple here. Just search for SmartyPlants. Look for our lovely picture on there. If you want to know more about the weekly meal plan, you can go to our website and just click on meal plan. You can just read about it, kind of what the meal plan is. There's still a spring coupon cooking. If you're not a meal planner and you're interested about the thing, if you are a meal planner, you're already part of the deal. That's all we got for today.
All right. Happy Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Billy. Birthday. I'll be calling you tomorrow.
All righty. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Thanks
Happy birthday, Mary, if you're still there. Vanessa, if you're still there.